Hello, everybody. I'm so happy and proud to be here now to announce my very dear friend, Maria Tuerlings, as a speaker on the opportunity of this online series of K2 Contemporary Art Center for our EU-funded Daire Artist-in-Residency project. So Maria Tuerlings, I'm so proud and honored to say that we are friends because we had a very important project together. I was very honored and proud to be a partner of this huge European Union project when in 2011, initiated by trans artist when Maria Tuerlings was the director of the trans artist, and this whole project was about artist in residency programs in Europe, and we have been traveling with these wonderful colleagues from all over Europe to discuss about the residency programs, and probably that is how I have the courage to apply for this huge project now. And now we are wrapping up with a big success. And I guess the backup, the information I had through this project and all the connections we had in our friends and the very important people who are into artist in residency programs in Europe as well. So now when we were doing this series of speeches about the wrapping up our program, the first person, of course, to speak with and to invite for making a speech was Maria Tuerlings. And thank you so much, Maria, for accepting our invitation and being with us here today to make this speech, which I am very anxious to hear as well. And yeah, artist in residency is, of course, one of the main mainstream activities in the contemporary art today. And the roots, of course, is a bit a few decades in the back in history. And the history was made by maybe one of the main institutions which made the history of the artist in residency programs has been trans artists, of course, in Holland. And I call personally, because I'm so honored to say Maria is my friend, and I call her the queen mother of residency programs because she has done a lot and she knows a lot about all this. And then I am so proud to have her here now in our program to make her speech. And I would like to give the floor to Maria now. And thank you again, Maria Tuerlings.
Thank you, Aysegül, for your very kind words. And I think back with very fond memories of the meeting we had in İzmir in 2002. And it was really a pleasure and an honor to be there and get to know the Turkish residency places that were introduced by you. And to be there together with all the partners in this lovely first big EU project that we did. And it was an honor that you could host the big closing event. And I will never forget that party, also because it was my 60th birthday. So it was really a very special event to me in many, many ways. And I think in those days, it was so good to see that together with all the partners that were there, we could actually seed some sow some seeds that I think that are flowering now and in this conference, and that you can see that everyone is thriving and that it is happening actually in Turkey. So that's really, really an honor that I can be here now. So thank you so much, Ayşegül. And you are a very dear friend to me too. So I really feel honored. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I will go to my speech, and it's about seeds actually. So I will start. It's called Sowing the Seeds for Tomorrow. I've always loved gardening. It started in my early youth when we moved out of the city to a new house near the coast. I loved being outside. I loved the nature around us. And when my mother started to create the garden around our house, she asked me to help her. Our garden was a very challenging work in progress. The conditions were tough as we lived near the seaside on sandy grounds opposite the dunes. My mother taught me how to improve the soil. She taught me how to sow seeds and grow plants, and how to protect the plants from the rough, salty winds. We learned which plants thrive from being near to each other, and that others would not survive the close proximity of their enemy plants. I watched seeds grow into plants that astonish me with their beautiful flowers or their delicious fruits and vegetables. I've learned how they connect and respond to each other and to other organisms and thrive in a fascinating ecosystem that supports and protects them. In my secondary school, biology and the arts were my two favorite subjects. The first because of my love for nature and our gardens. The arts were introduced by my parents and by the teacher that took us to museums and who spoke passionately about the art we saw. I loved drawing, and the teacher advised me to apply at an art school, which I did and was accepted. I've always felt a connection and similarity between the two words of art and nature. Both give us beauty, comfort, and inspiration. Both are carriers of our culture. Both trigger our senses and minds, bring us new ideas and insights, and create new perspectives. Therefore, working in the cultural field with artists always felt very natural, inspiring, and close to my heart. After my study at the art school, I continued in several jobs as art and art history teacher, as a volunteer in a women arts organization, and as the chairwoman of one of the grant schemes for artists at the National Fund for the Arts, Architecture and Design. There I learned for the first time about artist residencies. At that time, they were a new and upcoming phenomena. I felt attracted to this new opportunity for artists and found out that there was actually little information available on what they are and what they can contribute for artists. When my term was over at the fund, I decided to apply for a grant to research what residencies could mean to artists and their careers, and how the information about these programs could be best provided. The research made clear that residency programs are, for artists, a valuable and important opportunity to develop and create new work, meet other artists, curators, scientists, researchers, and work with local artists and local communities. It was also clear that a research on this phenomena was made much needed, and that inspired me to take action. And with the support of the Dutch Ministry of Culture, I started TransArtist in 1996. Coincidentally, or maybe not, it was the same year in which I could buy a small garden near Amsterdam where I live. Both TransArtist and the garden grew and flourished parallel to each other. TransArtist grew exponentially in the following years. Artists, creators, writers were inspired to join our team, and this grew in a very dedicated, very knowledgeable, committed, and enthusiastic TransArtist dream team, my dream team. We were invited by art schools all over the world to give workshops for their students. Artists invited us to advise on how to create residency programs, to unite and collaborate in networks within their countries, and what the values are of participating in other international collaborations, partnerships, and networks. We were invited by local, regional, national governments and funders and the EU for advice on policy and support schemes for artists, artist initiatives, residencies, and more in general on artist mobility. We closely connected and collaborated with national and international networks, in which we also, residency networks, in which we also participated as a member. Over the years, TransArtist grew into an enormous, thriving ecosystem in which many different people from a wide diversity of cultural backgrounds could find and meet each other, work together, learn from each other. When I retired in 2015, almost 2 million people all over the world use the TransArtist website regularly. The deep passion, the drive, and the involvement of everyone, of all these art places and people involved, still inspire and move me deeply. Today, we live in extremely challenging times. We are confronted with a virus that threatens and disrupts our lives. We cannot see our families and friends and find comfort in cooking and eating together. We work from our homes, isolated from our colleagues. We cannot visit galleries, museums, or theaters or conferences for inspiration or comfort. We fear being infected, to get ill, or worse, not survive. However, during the first lockdown in the corona crisis, I remember seeing films of people singing songs and playing music together, while hanging out of their windows or standing on their balconies, sharing their love for music and sharing the need for comfort and reconnect with each other. That was a very moving and very powerful image that I will not easily forget. The effects of climate change are another reality we have to face. In the fruit and vegetable garden I work in France, we experience the devastating effects of climate change. The plants and fruits we would normally grow burn because of the heat of the sun and die as the drought causes a lack of water. From May through August, temperatures of over 40 degrees are becoming the new reality. On a larger scale, the effects of climate change force more and more people to leave their homes and what used to be their fertile grounds and move elsewhere. Sometimes they bring seeds from the plants they used to grow as carriers of their food culture and signs of comfort and hope for a future in which the plants will hopefully regrow, produce food and fruits again, and produce new seeds. Instability and war force many people to leave their homes and countries. To survive, they seek for safety and protection in other regions and countries, and often have to deal with very challenging conditions and circumstances. In this world, art and culture are more needed than ever. The love for art and our cultures are things we all share. Our culture is part of our genes, is always with us wherever we go. It's in our mind and souls. It inspires us, gives us comfort and hope, and the strength to survive. Through the work you do together with artists, your local communities, regional and local governments, funders, you have created together your own ecosystem as a fertile place for art and culture and inspiration and creation for you all. A place where your audiences find beauty, inspiration, and comfort. To keep your ecosystem healthy and fruitful, the contribution of each and every one of you is crucial, equally important and needed to make it work and be beneficial for everyone. It's a very powerful tool that you share and hold in your hands. Despite these challenging times, I hope and wish you will find and keep the inspiration and courage to encourage your work in close partnerships with each other, so that the seeds you sow together will flourish and feed our bodies and minds again tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you, Aysegül, again.
Thanks. I don't know how I can thank you. I almost had tears in my eyes, and I'm really touched, and I'm so happy to have this chance to listen you and be on the same screen with you is a big honor for me. Thank you so much, Maria. I love you.
Thank you, Ayşegül. It was really, really a pleasure.
And I really wish we pass through these hectic days with this the virus, and I'm looking forward to being together physically, hugging you and hosting you here in our K2 breathing space we call now this wonderful space. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Ayşegül. I'm also very much looking forward to see you again. And I wish and hope that the conference will bring everyone a lot of inspiration and courage to really continue.
I'm sure it will.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.